Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Fallout New Vegas. Let's continue. So we're inside the NCR correctional facility and I thought it was going to just be more of a shooting experience, a dungeon, but it turned out to be a village. So on one side you could have sided with the powder gangers. On the other side you could side with the NCR and yeah, but yeah, it is basically a city that I don't think in this game we're going to just end up letting the NCR completely take over everything. Although maybe we will. Maybe you'll get halfway through the game and every city will just be under NCR control slash protection, and then maybe the Brotherhood of Steel will show up out of nowhere and take back over. And then it will be NCR versus Brotherhood of Steel, or even if you had played with the other sides, it would have been you maybe would have taken over every city for the powder gangers, and then the Brotherhood of Steel shows up as a new antagonist. It is different than Fallout 3, where in Megaton City you have the possibility of blowing up Megaton City, which was a big, impactful choice for the rich people living in the towers in Fallout 3, and then you can let the zombies and the ghouls into the towers of Fallout and kill the rich people also. So there was like three different factions you could side with. Whereas this seems to me like you can really only side with NCR or the powder gangers at the moment.
Any lawman that
We
comes after
maybe
me won't have it easy.
maybe at some point we'll have an opportunity to side with Caesar's Legion, but it seems to me like Caesar's Legion is just going to be the slavers group. Some things of low value can be taken based on your reputation, things of only one value, but then things of two value would be considered stealing. And so that's really where this is, where your relationship with people in the city comes down to, is just how expensive does a thing have to be before it's considered stealing. And at some point you might have such a high relationship you could take anything of any value. I definitely am of the opinion that I would like to just take out the powder gangers, since we've already pissed them off, and since the storyline is not really giving you a good explanation of why you would side with them. The only thought I could think, I guess that's a machete, handmade. The only thing I could think is that they probably should have shown the NCR people just severely abusing these prisoners, so that you would feel a little bit morally ambiguous about it, or have these prisoners be thrown in jail for fairly
comes after me won't have it easy.
fairly minimal infractions or made up charges. But yeah, we're not getting any of that. It seems like every person we've met so far has said, well, just a pile of cleaning supplies here. They've said that they basically are guilty and deserve to be in prison. There is a possibility, since I'm noticing some pop-in on texture, there might be a possibility to improve the game by just lowering the level, the distance you can view things, and just having a fog, which noticeably this game does not have a fog. Here we can see what our character looks like for a brief second. You would think that these green pools would be radioactive, but they're not. So, a cell block B, a cell block A. Let's see what's in here. It's probably just powder gangers.
Never gets old when something blows up.
We have a named character, so let's talk to
It's about
Carter.
time a new customer
We've been
showed
told
up
a
around
bunch
here.
of new,
I was getting sick of dealing with the same faces all the time.
so
I was always the guy who could get things, if you know what I mean. Figured I might as well keep on doing it.
So, this is a city, like all the other cities, where it's going to have a trader.
I worked in a casino in New Reno, and one of the pit bosses decided he didn't like me. Framed me over some caps, and I ended up in here.
Interesting. So he says he's innocent.
This is where the NCR sent prisoners to reform through hard labor. I never saw much reforming around here myself. Don't have any other place to go. I'd just end up back in another prison or dead out in the wasteland. If I don't have anything you like, well, tough. I don't do special orders.
Okay. So we'll buy cards to start with. Doesn't really have a lot of other things. So unless I was just going to buy stim packs. He's not the type to... He's not a good trader to try and sell things to. So it probably also highlights where if you had sided with the powder gangers, you would have regretted it. +3, but a weight gain of 5. We'll sell the caravan lunch, which we got through doing another quest. And I think we can go ahead and sell weapon repair kits, because I think I can probably, I'm just going to get my repair high enough that I can repair weapons myself, and that's going to save me a lot of gold. Yeah. That's a lot of stim packs to sell, but whatever. I think we're so safe on very
Pleasure
easy
doing
mode.
business with you. See you.
So, this is a cell door, and I imagine there might be some valuable items back behind that door. This would be the one location where it might make some sense to play as the bad guy and just kill everybody, but inherently, if it's in red, you're going to lose karma no matter what. So even if I just killed everybody here who are in green, which would also lose me karma, or I think it would at least. The game's perhaps not as clear cut on that as it should be. I'm pretty sure it would lose me karma. But yeah. I basically need to find a mission that would let me shoot everybody in this facility and clean it out.
You eyeballing me?
Which that's really the only video game solution I think you can have here, is to just shoot everybody, unless there would be place dynamite or set off some kind of booby trap that was already planted here. Poison the water wells, something like that, I guess you could do to make it a little bit more varied. There is a very high level of unimportant NPC characters filling in each of the cities, and there is definitely a thought here of them trying to make New Vegas just a bit more of an abridged experience, a smaller experience than Fallout 3. Which, in fairness, if you just played Fallout 3 without any of the DLC, you would save a significant amount of gameplay time there.
You eyeballing me?
And so New Vegas certainly had opportunities to have more DLC added to it, but Bethesda had no desire to make Obsidian's game be received even better. But yeah, they should have probably gotten over their ego and made at least one more bit of DLC for New Vegas. They should think about remaking New Vegas themselves. Even if they were going to egotistically say Bethesda is going to remake New Vegas and it'll be even better than what Obsidian did, that would be at least something to do with the New Vegas environment and location. Instead, what they've done here is they've effectively let it become the domain of the Amazon Prime TV series, which maybe that works too.
Heard there was a new face around.
Let somebody
I'm the
else do
doctor around
something.
here. Sort of. I was an NCR medic for 6 months, so I'm not exactly a doctor. Still, it's more medical training than any of the other guys here. It also gives me an excuse to stay out of any raiding parties. The gang can't lose its only doctor now, can it? Medical supplies go for a decent amount of caps in the right markets. I figured the quartermaster wouldn't notice any missing. I was wrong. Let's see. I've been a farmhand, a bouncer, a bandit, and an NCR trooper. I don't recommend any of them. The location by the highway makes it a good spot to shake down any travelers passing through. That's why Eddie and the rest are still around. Me, I like having big walls between myself and the wasteland.
I mean, almost everybody is giving fairly reasonable reasons for what they're doing. And they're not coming off as just raving lunatics
One night,
with a
there was
bloodlust.
a big explosion from the other cell block. I had no idea what was going on, so I took cover in my bunk. When it was all over, the guards were dead and we were free. Most of the other prisoners scattered, but a few of us stuck around, obviously. Later.
I feel like it's just gonna get weirder and weirder. As a bodyguard.
You hear about the death claws north of here?
Ooh, death calls. That's probably the closest thing we'll have to super mutants in this game.
Hey.
So we're wandering around in different ways here.
Hey.
Hello.
Trying to just get the layout. A lot of hey, hey, heys. Yeah, nothing really feels like it would really stop me if I did just want to go on a rampage and shoot everybody. But the more I talk to them, the less that seems like a reasonable solution. If anything, I think I'd like to see if there's a way in the story to negotiate some agreement, some surrender, some peace. Although I don't know what agreement the NCR would be willing to agree to, nor do I know what agreement the powder gangers would be willing to agree to that would overlap. You'd think that maybe this would break and you would fall down through here, but if that is going to happen, it would have to be a scripted thing, and those kinds of things don't happen very often in Fallout games. So here they've drawn over the painting of the previous warden. There's a decent number of people in this room as far as if you were to just try and shoot this guy. A lot of visual flickering still and glitching. Yeah, I could see getting shot pretty quickly and dying with this many people in one room. So, President Peaches. Here we have Eddie. Here we have a safe. Here we have Scrambler. And here we have a bathroom. So let's talk to Scrambler first.
What are you looking at?
Hmm.
Why? It's because I mess up people so bad they don't know what part goes where when I'm done.
Hmm.
Not much. Just killed a bunch of people. Maybe a couple kids too. Whatever.
We haven't seen any kids in this game, and I imagine we won't see any kids in this game. I think you did see a few kids in the cities of Fallout 3, but... And yeah, the cities are definitely bigger in Fallout 3.
Dynamite. Lots and lots of dynamite. You should have seen the body parts flying everywhere. I keep an eye on my buddy Eddie. Anybody messes with him and I scramble them real good.
So this would be, I guess, if there's going to be a speech choice, that would be my guess as far as how I could talk this
Dawes
group
said he
down.
let somebody in. So you going to give me a reason not to kill you and throw your body back outside?
Let's see. Let's just go down the whole line.
This is Powder Ganger territory, my territory. Most of the guys around here understand that. One, Chavez doesn't. Chavez formed his own crew and have been hitting traitors on their own. Everybody I've sent after him either got killed or weren't able to catch him. That leaves you. What do you say?
Okay. Let's see. I guess I'll do it.
Good. Chavez and his boys were last seen south of here. If you're lucky and he's careless, he might still be there. Why do you care? Answer, you shouldn't. I don't feel like trading life stories. It was all Cook's idea. He and his boys managed to swipe some dynamite and hide it away in their cells. The rest of us just tagged along. Cook's crew headed north while the rest of us stuck around for payback. The NCR called it a work release prison. We lucky prisoners got the privilege of fixing up the rail lines and blasting rock for new lines. They got sloppy though. Some of us managed to hide away some dynamite, and look who's in charge now.
Still some repetitive dialogue here, pointing you in specific directions towards the next quest.
One mean son of a bitch. Really truly hates the NCR for some reason. And he got a lot of the other guys around to his way of thinking. He and his crew went north. I heard talk about some sort of big plan to get back at the NCR, but haven't seen them since. Yeah, get out of here.
Hello?
Okay. So, I think I'd get in trouble activating the warden's terminal, and it does just seem like I'd probably get in trouble picking that door. So we saw a couple fairly bad guys, and we were seeing a lot of people who seem like they are only slightly bad guys. And the only way out is through this building, I guess. So, our quest now is to deal with Chavez. And so, we'll go do that.
Prim's got some new sheriff watching over the town now.
This is one of those, these cities getting overrun by wildland creatures might be a way to also just add some interesting twist or add some gameplay to it. Whereas, feels like if we keep the status quo here, I'm just gonna have one more city that I can travel to. But unless that city is going to give me more, like, unless it's going to give me more interesting encounters and quests, I'm not sure there's a huge value in keeping it, in visiting the place. So we're going to just follow the train line here. And we can see there is something over there. Is that the roller coaster in Prim? Looks like it might be. Here's Chavez. He is also green. So we'll put down our gun and see if we can just negotiate. Little camp here.
Never gets old when something blows up. You just walked into the wrong camp, my friend. Hand over everything you've got and we might let you live.
Let's see, Eddie sent me to deal with you.
That's nothing new. Am I supposed to be impressed?
So we need a speech of 30. Eddie's just gonna keep chasing you, quit while you're ahead and alive.
Alright. Pickings were getting slim around here anyway.
Damn, running low on smokes again.
The other choice, I guess, would have been to simply
Any lawman that comes
kill
after
all
me
of these
won't have it
people.
easy.
Dino toy. We'll take a couple of things here while we're looking. I assume there's probably more in that direction. Excuse me. Yeah. I would assume that this train track probably just leads to Nipton, and so that'll give me a great excuse to get back on the path of going towards Nipton. Seems like there might even be a shortcut that gets opened at some point to travel through here. Yeah, I guess the idea here is that we're going to stay on the roads more and more. We are getting some other locations that are probably worth checking out. Is there really a reason to go back to Good Springs though? At the moment, no. I think at some point in the future, maybe there will be a reason to revisit locations. And I can't just be paranoid about leaving the roads, so I'm willing to go over some of these mountains and just assume that that isn't going to lead to instant death. Although maybe there should be some kind of mountain dwelling creature. That would keep you on the tighter pathways. The good thing I see here, though, is that unlike Fallout 3, you're not just walking for 5 minutes with nothing happening. Usually, that the distance to walk it from point A to point B does seem a lot smaller.
What? I'm happy you cleared that up for me, but we've got another situation to worry about. There's a merchant hanging around near the prison. Something feels funny about him, and I want you to deal with him. Shake him down if he's legit, but if not, take him out. Most people already know we run this territory and are usually in a hurry to get out. Not this guy. It's like he wants us to come get him. Yeah, get out of here.
Hey.
So now we have another quest. Although it is definitely worth pointing out that that quest was to walk to one place, either talk to with speech skill or shoot with gun skill Chavez, and then walk back. And now we have a quest to do almost the exact same thing, it sounds like. We'll have to see which way this is having us walk now. And it's almost violating what these quests should be, in the sense that I am not running into anything. Like, it would make some sense where either these surfaces are just too tall to climb, and then it would be more noticeably, visibly obvious you can't climb those surfaces. Or there should just be like a lot of bloat flies flying around the tops of mountains. Something like that would make some sense. And this is a great example of just seeing masses of amounts of poppin'. But if the fog and the level of detail was as bad as the poppin' was, you wouldn't be able to see anything in the game at all. So I definitely am glad they've significantly improved on fixing pop-in issues by just having lower texture elements load in. But then that still also takes a lot of video RAM and computer CPU RAM to handle all of that. It's not free by any means as far as CPU and RAM and processing power.
Whoa!
These guys are running. Don't know why or what for. Those one even, I think, the guys we were looking for. Gene skydiving. Let's talk to the traveling merchant. And yeah, I guess those other powder gangers over there decided to just run that direction. This is the guy we were supposed to be talking to.
Better be careful around these parts. I hear there's powder gangers around and dangerous for merchants like me.
Let's see. Intelligence 6, traveling a little light for a merchant, aren't you? No pack Brahmin. Yeah, I don't know why you would genetically ever engineer a two-headed cow like a Brahmin, unless the thought would be that shooting a cow in one head would keep it alive in the other head. Unfortunately, that's not how it works, at least as I've ever seen. It would kind of be a cool mechanic if two-headed creatures in Fallout required you to shoot both heads. Otherwise, it would just get more angry and change its attack stance or style. But you don't even really shoot Brahmins. So let's go ahead with intelligence.
Well, you see, fuck. I'm really a bounty hunter trying to catch some powder gangers. But they probably saw through me just like you did. I've been hanging around hoping to ambush some of them, but haven't had any success.
There's literally 2 powder gangers next to him. Let's see. Let's ask this question about the bounty.
No, but there ought to be. I'm just taking the initiative is all.
Interesting.
Yeah, was a stupid idea anyway. See you around. You won't see me around here again.
Let's go ahead and see what's in here. Yeah, you would think that turning on these radios would be leading towards finding some other location on the map. And I just don't think that really is what's going on. Like, it definitely feels like that should be the way Fallout games work. Lockpick skill needs to still go up fairly higher. One of the issues, certainly, that are more noticeable in Skyrim but also definitely have an issue here too, is that you are constantly being pushed to be a stealth archer in Skyrim. In Fallout games, you're constantly being pushed to have science and lockpicking. Otherwise, you just cannot hack terminals without science. You cannot lockpick without locks. There's just no other option there. Maybe if you had strength really high, you could force locks, but then that almost feels like strength and lockpicking should be counterbalanced, where you pick one versus the other. This is an airplane, so that I guess this is where the skydiving would have taken place. It just gives us an interesting look as to, in the Fallout universe, what the airplanes look like. Remember, everything was being run by uranium nuclear power in the Fallout universe. Oil resource wars never really came about. If I am going to shoot this, I should swap to this gun. Just walk right up to it. 5 XP is 5 XP. And that is the one reason why you would just continue to walk in areas, is that we'd hope you would run into an occasional insect to grind out. It's still very unbalanced, and this is true with the other Fallout games too, is that you're getting 100 XP for finishing a quest. You're getting 5 XP for shooting a bloatfly. So while that may all add up in the long run, in the short run it is going to feel like you're putting in a lot of effort for very little reward. You want to be just slightly careful coming down the sides of these hills, because you can fall and take fall damage, I'm pretty sure. I probably should investigate that area over there some. I guess it is an interesting question as far as, was this building facility ever not a prison? It seems to me like it probably was a prison even before the bombs fell. It would be asking a little too much. Wow, why is the guy pointing at me?
Think that roller coaster in Brim is still working?
That's a bad animation to program in.
Hello?
What? Good. Had him figured for NCR, one of the Rangers maybe. Anyway, speaking of the NCR, I need you to take a walk down to Prim. The NCR hasn't raised hell over our breakout, and I want to find out why. They're up to something, I can feel it.
Talk to locals in Prim and learn what, if anything, the NCR is planning for the correctional facility.
I know the NCR has troops near Prim, so talk to the locals and find out if any of those troops are going to be coming our way. Yeah, get out of here.
Okay. So let's ask some questions here. Can we fast travel from where we are? We have like 2 quests here. Nope, you cannot fast travel from inside the building. I was pretty sure about that. It'd be too easy to leave a dungeon. Although, these really aren't dungeons. If you were to compare this to, say, something like a Persona game, although I haven't actually played Persona games, or just your standard dungeon JRPG game, you never get trapped into dungeons and have to spend an hour fighting enemies before you can exit. And Fallout might really benefit if it did have that experience happen. I want to go check out this canyon wreckage. Well, I wasn't expecting coyotes. No bullet sound effect at all there. Hey, ghouls! First ghoul we've seen. That gave me 50 experience. And definitely tells me it's time to swap to something stronger. Let's go with the 9mm submachine gun. Or handgun. I don't know if that's a real coyote or if it's just not got any AI programmed into it. Well, there it moved. Coyote Wolf Alpha. Or Coyote Pack Alpha. And that's 10 XP. So wolves at the top of hills make some sense. Frag grenades might be an interesting item to use. Then a E upside down, it looks like. Oh, that was quite the shocking sound effect. Let's see. Let's go and equip a frag grenade. It'll be at least fun. Well, that didn't hurt me, and that feels like that probably flung the body somewhere far where I'll never find it. So we've got a feral ghoul. Probably too much firepower. My thought there is maybe if I used some frag grenades I'd get some skill points towards explosions, but it really doesn't work that way, does it? I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be able to reach this area or if it's supposed to just be awkward. These coyotes are being marked as antagonistic in red. It may very well be a case that there's straight up going to be a cave. Yeah, I was expecting there to potentially be a vault or a cave in that section. We really haven't seen a lot of that, so unless this entire map opens up in some way, it again feels like it's going to be too small for what I would want. But that would be an interesting twist, certainly, is if all of a sudden there were just big empty spaces of the ground that open up and there are like nuclear missile silos or that lead to vaults or just vault doors in general. Let's check the map and see how far away we really have gotten. The canyon wreckage is just to the left of me, so it's still supposed to be over in this section. On some road. There's a symbol, Courier 6. Oh, so this feels like this is straight up part of the main story. As far as Courier 6, I'm Courier 6. You can go home, Courier. What does that even mean? Travel to the divide. Okay, let's check our quests and see if we are supposed to go to the divide. And for what reason we were supposed to go to the divide. Yeah, the reunion. Yeah, that seems like that's DLC stuff. So we don't want to do that yet. A question. I guess it wouldn't make the most sense, although it might make still some sense if you were a android synthetic. Suppose that could still be the case. That you got shot in the head and you think you have amnesia, but really you are a synthetic human being that's just indistinguishable enough from humans that the doctor patching you up didn't recognize the difference, or the doctor did know you were a synthetic and just didn't tell you. That might even explain the psychological examination. Okay. So, let's talk to Lieutenant Hayes.
Hello?
See what he has to say.
Military operations are classified information. The brass is familiar with the situation at the NCRCF. Ma'am?
That's as much information as we're going to get from him. Maybe I was supposed to talk to the other person. I don't think I'm supposed to be talking to just a random NCR trooper, am I? We'll see.
When I got this assignment, I was hoping there'd be more gambling.
So it's most of these non-important NPCs have the same 5 or 6 levels of responses.
Evening. What is it? I have no idea. I just go and do what they tell me. Ma'am?
So that guy. Maybe we talk to later. There's probably a couple of soldiers around here I'm not familiar with.
Got business here?
See if they placed any more mines. I don't think they do replace the mines. So, yeah, the game still looks fairly dark here. I might be able to fix that robot now. Let's see. Repair. We need to 65 or higher. Or science 55 or higher. So let's look at our stats. Skills. Science is too low. Repair is still too low. We should talk to Jonathan Nash, I guess, while we're here.
Hey there, youngster. I might know something, but my memory ain't what it used to be. Sometimes it needs motivating.
Let's go with speech.
Hold on there. With everything you already done for this town, I'd feel ungrateful as hell if I let you risk yourself for no good reason. He made me swear not to say a word to no one, but an NCR deserter passed through some days ago and traded for supplies. According to him, the NCR has decided enough's enough and is going to send in a mess of troops to take back the prison any day now.
So, we could report back to Eddie, or we could offer assistance in retaking the prison.
That beat up whole thing? What do you want to know?
Let's ask about the robot.
A courier dropped it off a couple of months back. I got it working for a little while, but the darn thing pooped out. I haven't been able to get it up and running again. I was hoping to use it for some courier work, but that ain't gonna happen. Hell if I know. I don't think it's serious, but my tinkering days are long gone. You're welcome to try. It's yours if you can get it working. If I had my way, I'd dump it in the scrapyard in Novak and be done with the damn thing.
So, apparently that might be our first...
Don't go getting yourself shot. Hey there, youngster.
I thought I was going to be able to trade with this guy. Yeah, here it is.
Sure, have a look.
So, looks like cards may refill. It looks like I may very well start to just buy the same bullets for the same gun over and over again. We have been fairly slow to get a companion. That's not super surprising. We have some magazines here. And I guess all the magazines would say plus 10, whereas any book that would increase our stats would probably just say plus 1. I wonder how many of these things I just sold to him in the past. Right. I should consider what I'm gonna sell. 10mm pistol versus the weathered 10mm pistol. Fatigue damage from boxing tape. Just go ahead and sell all the frag grenades. And that was too much. So I'll take back 1. 2. That's the best we can do.
Another satisfied customer. Goodbye.
And then I wanted to talk to her and see if she could make the stew. Because I think I have some
Welcome
rat
back.
scorpion
Good
stuff.
to see you
Unless
again.
I sold it.
Thanks to you, Prim's on the way back up. With folks watching over us, I think the raiders will keep their distance. Does sound... Is that right? Then hand them over, and I'll get to baking a whole batch of casseroles. Goodbye.
So did I get the casserole immediately there, or am I gonna have to come back to it later? No, I got it. So we can't fix that. We know they're going to attack, and so then there's perhaps a small reason to come and check in here. But noticeably it's nighttime, and so there's nobody here. Although you'd still get bad karma if you steal anything. It's kind of funny, it would just have nobody here. You would think that they would have at least one person sleeping in the area, acting as guard, or at least a robot acting as guard. Yeah. Still got the creepy human eyes looking at you. Still missing the gun from the gun case. And so I'd assume that the robot is wandering around somewhere. Unless he is actively in the sheriff's office. Which, no, he isn't. Okay. So if we were to look at the local map, you have, let's see if we can remove a marker first of all. You have two choices. Now we can side with the NCR, or we can side with the powder gangers. I think the NCR makes the most sense, just because you're going to end up siding with the NCR against the Legion anyways. Otherwise you're going to be siding with the slavers. The only way it would make sense to side with the powder gangers is if you're just going to be anti-NCR, and almost certainly the game will have some storyline twist that explains why that is the wrong decision that happens after the fact, and you would just never actually be capable of knowing that information. It's just not that extreme to, in this type of society, imprison people in slave labor work camps, working to better society as a whole. And it's not like every single person in the prison is just unjustly there. In fact, most of them seem like they are very justly there. Let's just walk over here in this whole section just to see if maybe I missed something. Probably didn't. Of course, there is room for a little bit of everything. There could be a secret hidden rock or something. And the perk to just completely reveal the map, I think, makes a ton of sense. That's too far from where I wanted to go, but whatever. So yeah, I'm happy in my role-playing decision to side with the NCR and clean out the prison. I imagine that means the prison will then be full of NCR people, and it will just be still a city, but a different city. Scenic overlook. Really just showing you where you can jump down here. No fall damage from that jump.
Hey.
Alright. Far too often you have these people falling asleep as you're trying to talk to them. You would think that they wouldn't do that when you're standing there looking at them.
Yeah. Military operations are classified information.
Let's see.
Some powder gangers did you wrong, is that it? Get in line. Still, you do look capable enough, and manpower hasn't been easy to come by. Alright, fine by me if you want to put yourself in harm's way. I'll mark the staging area on your map. Talk to Sergeant Lee.
So, this feels like we're going in bullets blazing. Where's Sergeant Lee?
What is it? Man.
Probably would make some sense to swap guns at this point. Something that just does higher amounts of damage. Let's try this service rifle. That seems like a more appropriate weapon for the fight that is coming. Now, on very easy mode, it feels like I could probably just run into the prison and kill them all myself, but I imagine they're not just bouncing the game for a very easy mode, and they will instead expect players to work with the NCR and take it out with 2 or 3 people. And the game has just locked up and crashed. So there's our first crash. We knew it was coming, certainly. Now the good news is it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Let me just relaunch the game. Yeah, this is copyrighted 2010, 1999. Several copyright dates there. Yeah, this guy. I assume that's supposed to be Courier 6. And I don't know if that's supposed to be your character or not. Now the only real problem here would be if you crashed multiple times every time you did it. At which point I would have to consider just like fast traveling to a different location or something else. But I imagine that's not what's going to happen here. I imagine it's going to work perfectly fine. And I really couldn't tell you what caused that crash, because that doesn't just feel like a memory leak crash. It feels like a bug of a different type.
You'll probably want to talk to Hayes.
Like something got out of order type crash. Alright, let's go back to this, and then guess what we'll do, since it doesn't seem it would be that interesting, It's just to fast travel here. You could walk there just to see what there is to see. Yeah, the whole idea of... Did I actually pick that? Nope, I hit the wrong button. Some of it is X, some of it is A, as far as which button you're supposed to press. The whole idea of avoiding the sides of roads and staying on the highways, at least on very easy, doesn't seem to actually be a big issue. If anything, it's just going to prevent you from doing this unimportant flower picking element of the game. I just feel like there should be more ants popping up, or more rad roaches, or blowflies, or something. I may hit a wall here. Picking up all this food. It's not, at least on very easy, it's not really playing a role, but I imagine even if you were playing on normal, it still wouldn't really play a big role in the gameplay. I think that concept should be very lightly touched upon, that there maybe should be a quest every now and then to run around and collect flowers for specific quest reasons, not the idea that you're just always capable of finding elements to cook food, to heal yourself. On the hardcore, most hardcore of difficulties, maybe it's necessary to cook food and heal yourself, but on very easy, it's not even a factor.
I'm Sergeant Lee. Lieutenant Hayes radioed ahead to say you were on the way. We've got surprise on our side, and that's
although
about
if this
it.
guy
Once we
died, I
blow
bet
a
he
gap in
doesn't
the
have a
fence, we've
radio
gotta pour
on
on
us.
the fire and keep them disorganized. Our goal's to take out their leader, some ass bag named Eddie. With the ringleader gone, the rest will fold. And that's all the briefing you're going to get. Let's go.
Okay. So we'll just run towards Eddie. I got turned around there. Like, Eddie should just be in here. Should I be doing that though? No, let's run around and just kill all the NPCs. Like, every kill lets me potentially get items and experience. So for the price of a bullet, it definitely makes sense. And some of this still would be stealing. So I should just use the map and the marker. These guys are taking them out pretty quickly. There's quite a lot of them. So unless they're going into this building to be blown up, I think they've cleared the whole area. So yeah, unless there's a So there goes a named character, Hannigan. Alright, you know what? You guys go take out. I'll just see how fast. Yeah, I guess the question here is how fast am I gonna die? It is quite the bottleneck here. So I'm now hated. Now the folks know that you're bad, and most people outright hate you. Alright, so decision there, and not really a decision that I regret too much. Okay, science, 5 here. Speech still seems like it might be alright. Medicine at 25 probably would be nice if I got bumped up. Lockpick to 40. Certainly, we have 6 more points to throw into. And so, repair level at a higher level, 5 more repair. Maybe, but I don't think so. I think it probably makes more sense to just be at 45 on lockpick, and then we have one more thing we can throw in the guns. There. Now, we've got another perk, and weirdly you only get these perks every now and then, whereas I thought you would have gotten a perk every time you leveled up. So, with each rank and Swift Learner perk you gain 10% experience points whenever experience points are gained. That's a waste of a perk. With each, you gain double from reading, 1 additional from skill books. We haven't seen any skill books yet, so we might want to put that off. Other options that we have at the moment. +3 to overall damage threshold. This perk may be taken twice. Second rank grants you an additional +3. No. Significantly increased VATs might be useful, although I'm not sure really necessary. More bottle caps might be useful. I really don't want to do the Bloody Mess perk because that's just going to do even more bloodiness. Like, I do really question if this perk is the best one. No, it probably is the best one to take because I do have a lot of magazines. The only other thing here you could do is intensive training and put a single point into your special attributes, which it probably is a little too early to do that. Craft ammo at bench using alternative materials. No, I'm gonna go with comprehension. That's what I thought I was gonna go with anyways. And immediately I'm gonna become encumbered here. But I want all these bullets. There's Eddie. Let's go ahead and see what we've got that we can maybe get rid of. Miscellaneous stuff would be the thing to get rid of first, but I really don't have a lot of miscellaneous things. So let's get rid of low value knives, low value high weight lead pipes. Dynamite, low value brass knuckles. I'm still like at 50. I'm over encumbered by 50. These are really high value guns. There's gotta be something else I'm holding on to that is taking a lot of space up. Yeah. High weight armor. That's it. Guard armor. So that fixes that. So we should take the high value guns back. Yeah, all that entertainment here of running and gunning has been boiled down to simply just carrying a bunch of garbage and dealing with all of that. Okay. So I need to get rid of the cheapest submachine gun, and that puts me 1 point below. Sergeant Lee is dead also. So
We won't go quietly. The Legion can count on that.
Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter.
So we have several NCR troopers here. We can unlock this. And we can see if there's anything here worth searching or taking. Nope, see, even taking the caps was still stealing. So there would have to be something of very high value worth losing your karma. Apparently I'm crippled.
Hey.
This is probably important information. didn't seem to lose any karma there. Lockpick skill is still pretty low. So the alarm seems like it's just going to be forever. And we now have a situation where maybe if we came back later, it would be less stealing. These bodies will probably despawn, including the one I filled up with items, which definitely highlights where a smart move here would have been to come over to this spot and fill it in. Just a lot of sunglasses. I'm almost certainly carrying too much outfits anyways, and should just get rid of things that aren't going to matter. Like right now this is a defense of 8. If I can find something else that's a better defense, I think it is probably time to get rid of that. But that is also a jumpsuit from the Vault 13, which we haven't found Vault 13. This would be a defense of 10. But it's medium. I probably want to stay with light. Yeah. It probably does make a lot of sense to just stay with light things and then run around, because I'm playing on super easy anyways. Very easy. Yeah, putting up these things is not really changing much though. See if maybe the miscellaneous are the heavy things. Otherwise it is a case of I've got too many guns still. Lead pipe, knife, knife, knife. Service rifle here. There's that one. Which one's the most valuable varmint rifle? Get rid of those. I don't get it. Why am I still 30 over? Thought I could hold all these submachine guns. But apparently I can't, so we'll just... I don't want to waste too much time on this, so... What am I missing? Why did this work before? It's gotta be something as far as lightweight leather armor. This is worth 160. Got me a lot closer. Now it's all this NCR stuff. Yeah, that alone was the one thing. So that NCR medium armor is incredibly heavy. Now, I don't think I'd lose karma coming back and taking this now. That wouldn't be very fair. And I'm hoping it actually stays there, which I'm not 100% sure it really does. There's Hannigan. We will let's see. I think that was all stealing, but picking the lock is just for the purpose of getting experience. So it's still worth doing. Wonder if we walk out of this area now, if we'll be met with some other people. No, so not sure if the quest completes by traveling back to yeah. Not sure how the quest really completes. Whether it's going back to Prim or what. Probably is going back to Prim. Still wanted to kind of look in that area. And there were some questions to be asked here. Yeah, we were basketball. Interesting. I'm grabbing just random things that look like they might be slightly unique when they probably are not unique at all. There are some questions here as far as were there supposed to be some hostages. Did those hostages just get killed and disappear? I wonder. Yeah, maybe I'll never be able to just pick up a lot of these items. Did they go through each of these buildings and kill all the powder gangers? Or if I enter these buildings, will there be more powder gangers? So then it becomes a question about, we have a legitimate excuse now to shoot these guys. This gun is awful. Accuracy is too low. Which one does the most damage? Of these, probably the most valuable one of them. For your overwhelmingly monstrous behavior, you become vilified by the community. No surprise there that that was where that was going to go. Dog meat. Haven't seen any dogs around. And this really highlights, though, the problem with the karma system, though, is that you're vilified against the powder gangers, which is fine. But then you're still losing karma overall, which will affect how people who have never even met you treat you for stealing from the powder gangers. And I just don't feel like the system should work that way. Right. So this does seem like I have the opportunity to run into these other sections and get some more experience. I'm getting 20 XP each time, and that's what I'm looking for. I'll take the dynamite also. See the bullets flying past him. Now if he's fleeing like this, maybe he was surrendering, but I don't think the game is programmed to work that way. Right, so there's another situation here to consider, in that when you pick up a key, I think you just permanently have that in your inventory. And so I don't think you have the opportunity now to pick this lock and get more experience. So I made a mistake by picking up the key there. Really all we can see here without stealing is that there's a decent amount of scrap metal and bottle caps. This metal box doesn't have anything. Schematics to a powder charge. So we probably need that. Leaf blower. So we're just gonna hope those schematics stay. I would have thought the service rifle would have been more valuable and useful. I can take bottle caps. Can take a wrench. Nuka-Cola bottles, empty Nuka-Cola bottles. Yep. For a role-playing game, there is a lot of subtlety that could be in quests that don't really take place. I do expect that if I was playing Fallout 4, I would see more subtlety as far as, do you really have to kill every single person because that's the only thing that would video game wise make any sense, or can you spare people and have some kind of karma reward for sparing people? In Fallout 3 there was a way to give purified water to people, and by giving purified water to a certain person you would gain karma. I imagine there's something similar, although there is also a lot less people overall. Let's see. Coyote hide belt. Let's see what happens in here. the last of the powder gangers. And any more powder gangers I run into on the road, I assume will shoot first and ask questions never. This guy's got a weird helmet on. I don't recall seeing him. And at some point you might think that they would just run it for fear. Mayors, he is neutral. Right, so we'll leave him alone. Meanwhile, we'll drink a couple of sunset sarsaparillas. And then what do we want from these people? Motorcycle helmet. Damage 2. Oh, that's the first time I've seen a motorcycle helmet, so we'll take that. And I guess it's just going to be a question about whether Mayors runs away or not. We're saying morning. Let's talk to Mayors.
Sounds like the NCR is finally getting off their ass to settle things around here. Don't expect me to get in their way. Watch yourself out there.
So we do get to keep him. And that's pretty much it. We'll take the key. Probably should take the psycho too. Okay, so where is the quest here? We're going a little long as far as how that goes. Yeah, the quest seems like it just kind of ends. So let's fast travel. I guess back to Prem. And there is something I think we can do now. As far as going in here and fixing this robot. So to fix it, we would need 65. To examine the science, we would need 55. Okay. Our stats is that we have science of 40. If we read a science magazine, it would go to a certain 60. So yeah, we should be able to just read a repair one actually. If we can. Yeah. We do have a programmer's digest, which would be science 20. Could also bump up our lockpick ability if we really needed to, but I want to hold on to that until I need it. Do we not have a repair? We may not have a repair magazine. Okay, well then let's take the programmer's digest and read that. And then we'll try and run it to deal with the other robot. Let's see. run the bypass. Repair with parts. So we did some science there, but we seem to be missing parts. What does the repair with parts require? 2 sensor modules and some scrap electronics. Okay.
Hey there, youngster.
Let's see if we can buy that from him.
Sure, have a look.
Let's see, what's he got? Buying a Programmer's Digest is probably not a bad move. It's probably also not a bad move to have bought this Salesman Weekly. Because you can't fast travel, that's what we needed, fixing things. But yeah, because we can't fast travel, because when you're over encumbered, it's really not ever going to be a situation where you what am I trying to say? You just wouldn't be able to fast travel back and forth between what you have and sell items when cleaning out an area like that. And this guy only has 200 caps, which is what I imagine you have once you I imagine that is just the default thing that happens when you are I'm losing my train of thought here like crazy. I'm trying to go through all this inventory and it's just overwhelming me mentally. Can I make sense in what I'm saying? Yeah, I think I want to get rid of the service rifle. I'm not sure if I have another gun that would use that, but that doesn't matter. Alright, I'm going to leave it at that.
Thanks.
I think what I was trying to say there was that when you... Let's see. There we go, got it. So now we have something that could be our companion. So this companion would let us break down scrap metal to lead. Alright, let's go ahead and do that. We have all kinds of companion things now. Use melee, keep distance, keep open inventory, be aggressive, use stim pack, wait here, talk to. And so it's a whole different interface, although it seems like its interface is pretty much the same. So yeah, feels like this may have been added in DLC at some point. his talking this way. And so I could now just fill up his inventory, and it's questionable just how much he can actually hold. Let's run and now see if we can find the robot, the other robot character, and see if we can program him. I don't have a really good reason to assume he's over here. They still don't want me going into houses, so I haven't befriended the people of Prim enough. Come on, robot, where are you? Programmer's digest is worn off, never mind. Okay. Fixing things is worn off. So I wouldn't have even found the robot in time. Let's go ahead and equip an actual weapon. So there's two things I want to do, and then we'll be in a position where we probably won't have a quest at all. One would be to sleep. That's one solution. We still don't have a house, and I'm not sure we're really going to get one. But this companion might help us quite a bit.
Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter.
Lieutenant Hayes is not here. We'll sleep for 1 hour. Lieutenant Hayes is still not here, which makes me wonder if he is at the correctional facility, and now this section is going to be the more empty section. Let's just walk a little bit in this direction. See if maybe Lieutenant Hayes is here. Nope. Okay. Fast travel back to the correctional facility. And let's see. The armor is pretty valueless. So that's broken. I kind of don't even have people to...
Need to talk about something? Watch yourself.
No, we kind of don't even have people to sell things to. So it almost feels like what should have happened here is, and it may just take some longer amount of time. Yeah, everything here is still stealing. And maybe I was supposed to keep Sergeant, what's his name here, alive. And maybe he would have given me more of an element here. Let's go. I'm gonna take things of high value and try and leave things of fairly low value. Which most of the stuff is things of fairly low value.
Controlling the Mojave
then
Wasteland makes you wish for a nuclear winter.
I'm going to talk to Eddie here and say open inventory, and then now is the time to fill this with things I don't think I'm ready to use or would use. Some of this is kind of obvious. I can't even really use it. This shotgun versus this shotgun. Single shotgun versus this one might have different experiences, but I should pick one, so we'll put that one away. Varmint rifle still makes sense. Binoculars, revolver might actually make more sense. Okay, and then outfits. We're literally just gonna get our inventory lowered to a massive amount, which that's great. Now, inherently, if I lose this companion, that's gonna suck. But it probably wouldn't even suck that much. This Pure Druidism Illustrated is a book, I believe, that I should just read, but I'm not sure I'm ready to read it. So, plus, that would just be unhanded combat anyways. That being said, I'm not going to take that risk. That's a little too high of a risk. Let's see. Yeah, getting your weight now that you have a companion down to a large amount is much. It's gonna change everything, I think, for you. And if I just like gave all the lead there. It really is just going to come down to what is the least amount of carriage weight that you can actually have while still having a reasonable amount of space and an amount of items. Ammo doesn't take any weight. See, that's a pretty good layout. Although, weight also highlights itself as being a real problem here, in that in any other first-person shooter game, you'd just be heavily encouraged to have 4 or 5 guns on you, instead of discouraged by having a high weight. It really does just prevent you. Well, yeah, okay, you can't wear the armor. I'm not concerned about that. I guess other companions would have been able to wear armor had I given him armor, when I give him armor. Yeah. You would expect...
Got business here.
You'd expect something. I could lockpick that. Or I could just come back and lockpick it later. I don't think there's a value in lockpicking at the moment.
Hello.
So yeah. It is a problem, I think. A fairly high problem. And it seems like this character does just have infinite inventory. It's probably not the case. But what I am seeing here some enemies in this direction. Probably is on a wall. So some kind of enemies in that general direction, and I guess that's about as much as I can do. Let's see. Put the gun away. Come over to this side and just see if we can hop right over the fence. And so we've got some enemies in that direction to check out. And otherwise, we are doing rather well. I'm a little surprised how high my stats are, even at the moment. We've cleaned out our inventory quite a bit. If I read this item, this would increase something, I believe. I don't think that is just a worthless item. I think that is a book. We have too many different types of currency as far as NCRs. Any other game, 100 NCR dollar would combine with the 20 and the 5s, and you can't even really see the images here that easily. So if the idea was to see the art of who they've decided to make the face of the dollar bills, that's not really working either. Yeah, here's your key ring. As far as expensive or weightless keys that you just are going to collect more and more of. We're doing pretty good on ammo, although it seems like this is the only way you really switch ammo. So that whole swapping ammo concept, I think, falls apart just because there isn't a button or even a sub menu that pops up. Quest wise, I guess we could do this to bring him to the scrap yard, which would be over there. I don't think we want to do that. And this quest wants us to go that way, which we should possibly investigate that. But I ideally want to go this way. That's my focus. And then this is the main story, and then everything below this is DLC. And we kind of want to do the DLC after the fact. Eddie is here. He might be stuck, but they probably would just teleport him. We're not doing anything with the radios, which if I turned on the radios and walked around, maybe I would find some more side quests. They might even be some minimal side quests that you can't do with it. You can't activate any other way. Next time I level up, you will want to get lockpick to 50, and then I think fairly quickly you still want to get just like science to 50 and lockpick to 50, and then science and lockpick to 75 even. I'm going to be somewhat cautious about bringing anything up above 80, however, because there might be some perks that would give extra skill points, or the points themselves might go up if I can increase my special points, which I like to do that. Like if I could increase my strength, that might let me carry more things, although it may not. Let's look at this again. Affects how much you can carry, powers all melee attacks and the effectiveness of heavy weapons. This is perception. Grants you lockpick abilities, explosive and energy weapon skills. Determines when red compass markings appear, which indicate threats. Endurance is environmental, resistance, survival, and unarmed skills. You really don't need that. Charisma, bonuses in barter and speech. Probably shouldn't have put a point in that and should have just put another point into intelligence. Science, repair, and medicine skills. The higher your intelligence, the more skill points you'll be able to distribute when you level up. So there almost is an argument to make a run starting with either 9 or 10 intelligence. That way you can just get your skill points up to 100 regardless of your other base special stats. That skill going up is probably helpful. And then luck going up 1 probably hasn't really changed too much. We're at level 6. There's probably at least 30 to 40 and 50 skills that we have, or levels to level up in. Yep. We're still neutral with the NCR. I'm a little surprised. And then if we hit the X button, we can see how many quests and locations we've done. We've gone really long today and I'm wasting time here. A lot of metrics here. And overall, I'm a neutral adventurer. Alright, well. I was expecting a little bit more of a reward for defeating all of the powder gangers in the prison. And I suspect it will eventually turn into a better city that's run by the NCR, but maybe not. It might just be that I chose poorly there. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and keep on watching. Thanks.